Welcome back, guys. Today I'm not going to do anything with the guitar. I'm just going to teach newer guitar players that might not know yet that you can actually change your string gauges depending on what tuning you're going to do. And I'm going to show what string gauges I use and what tuning, because I make my string gauges a little heavier the lower I go. I don't go super duper low because I have three different guitars that I play. So I don't go extremely low. I just what I do is I use slightly heavier, like a gauge up each time I go down a certain amount. So I'm going to show you the strings. I tune to, let's see, I use two 6 strings and two 6 strings and a 7 string guitar. So, okay, so the 1 6 string is E standard. 1 6 string is E standard. That is 10 to 52 gauge. I gotta open this dang package. I meant to open it. 10 to 52. Also, I use Stringjoy. I'm not sponsored or anything. I just love Stringjoy. Best strings I've ever used. So, 10. I'll show you that again. There's 10 to 52 Stringjoy. I use that for standard tuning. And the reason why I don't use, usually a regular gauge string, regulars are 10 to 46. I've played now for 22 years, and I've noticed that I like higher tension on the lower strings because when I pick the lower strings and they're really small, I'm so used to bigger strings now that it just feels like, I don't know, it feels like the string is running away from me. I don't really bend all that much on the top the low 3 strings. So I'd rather it be stiff enough to where I can pick hard and it not fluctuate the tuning like, you know. I pick pretty hard with rhythm specifically. So to give you the tone that I do for heavier stuff, I pick pretty hard for that aggressive sound. So yeah. So that's what I use for standard tuning. Okay, so D standard, which is 2 semitones down from standard tuning, I use 11 to 52s. That's a medium gauge string. Let me tell you what the gauges are on 10 to 52, just so you know. 10 to 52 is 10, 13.5, that's a Stringjoy thing. 17, 30, 40, 52. Okay? Let me look up what 10 to 46 is usually. What a normal regular gauge string is. I feel like this mic is right in my face. A regular slinky, for Ernie balls, that's what I used to use. Ernie Ball's regular slinky is 10, 13, 17, 26, 36, 46. So what I use it's 13.5. That's just a half gauge bigger than that on the B string. Yeah. And then the 3 low strings, 20, 26, 36, and 46 is regular slinky, and I use 30, 40, 52. So it's not like super duper different, but it makes a lot of difference if you like tighter tension on the lower strings. 10 to 52 on 10 to 52 on standard tuning. 11 to 52 on D standard. So this is 11, 14, 22, 30, 42, 52. Okay, so I do something a little weird here. I replaced that 22 because they always sound dead to me. I don't know if 22 gauge strings just have something wrong with them, but every time I've ever used a 22 gauge string on the third, on like the G, it just always have like a thump sound. It's like a deadened sound. It's weird, and my guitars are set up, so it's not a setup problem. What I do there is I replace the 22 with an 18 wound, a wound 18 third string, because I noticed I've never tried wound strings before. It's got a little bit of a thicker sound, and I've always been kind of worried that it's going to be like super hard to bend, but it's not really that much harder to bend. I'm used to heavier gauge strings anyway now. And the big boy, the 7 strings, this one's a little weird. I may change it because they are a little bit heavy for what I got it tuned to. But I'm just so used to them now. For 7 string, I use, it's like a 11 to 74, and I'll tell you the gauges. The gauges is 11, 14, 18, like the last one, 32, 42, 56, and then the 7th string is a 74. And if that kind of, to put that into perspective, 74 is the second to last string on a bass. And then instead of a 52, it would normally be 11 to 52 if it was a 6-string guitar. For some reason, I don't know, for 7-string gauge boxes, they balance it a little different. So instead of a 52, it's a 56. And that is in B standards. I've done all the super duper low stuff, and I just, B standard and drop A are like the lowest I ever want to go these days. I mean, that's pretty darn heavy already. So it's B, the 7th string is a B, and then it goes E, A, D, G, B, E. So it's standard tuning with an added 74 low B string. The reason why you want to do this is because it keeps the tension right the lower you go in tuning. And it kind of negates the need to set your guitar up all the time. If you keep it similar, now this is, I don't know the science behind it, but if you keep the weight of the overall tension for all 6 or 7 strings the same, then it's not going to screw your like truss rod up or your action, or it might mess a little bit with your action, but not super duper crazy. But anyway, if you keep the tension the same, it's not going to screw your setup up, basically. 10 to 52 for E standard. 11 to 52 with a wound 18 on the G for D standard. And then B standard 7-string, 11 to 74, replacing the 52 with a 56. So it's basically all pretty similar. I'm getting to where I buy the same strings all the time now because I hate going back and forth between big strings and little strings. And like, I just got used to playing bigger strings because as a guitar player, any little thing different, and you're like, any little different thing, and it's messing you up. It feels really weird. So, all right. That's all the information I wanted to teach you about that. If you learned anything, leave a like and subscribe. I would love to grow this channel. I'm really trying to stay consistent this time. Well, it's been 2 weeks since I've did a video, but I'm going to try to stay more consistent. Doing at least a video a week or every 10 days. So, and then I'll do little things like this about gear, or like the next video I'll probably do is going to be about picks, guitar picks. And then we'll get back into the guitar lessons. If you learn anything on here and you enjoy this, leave a subscribe, leave a like, share it to people. I would highly appreciate that. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye.